thought I'd do a video just documenting some of this so-called argument bullshit that goes on in Guild Wars over shock wars and shit like that. Over builds, and especially when it comes to shock wars. Basically, a bunch of absolute shitters talk shit all day, every day, and they run absolute shit builds in the game. They can't justify it. They lie about everything. They're extremely toxic, evil, wastes of space. And they just vandalize and degenerate everything. So here's an example of what goes on. I've done this. I've been in many times. I've been in like 8 hour long debates with these idiots over builds and skills and shit. And I win every single time, 100% of the time. And they just talk shit. But this isn't just in Guild Wars. It's in all games, and it's all over the internet. And in general, most people are just completely full of shit, and they really don't like it when they're exposed for their true colors. So in this video is just, I just thought I'd document an example of me discussing builds and skills as it compares to a typical kind of shock war with frenzy and all that shit, and compared to my 100 Blades Conjure Warrior. And my 100 Blades Conjure Warrior wins in every single department, light years ahead of their shit. And when it comes down to it, the only reason they run this shit is because they have a mentality of using what's easy and popular, not what's best. What's easy and popular. They never made builds. Half of the game is making builds. There are 1,300 skills to choose from, and you make a build out of 8 skills and different attributes of them and stuff. But they don't do that. They don't actually know how to play the game properly. They just look at what other people do, and they just copy them. They don't think for themselves. They just blindly copy what idiots do. They never think for themselves. They're just totally stupid, and they continue running stupid shit. And they're intensely weak. And they just never better themselves. They never question anything. They never try and look at what better options there are. So they lose in every single department. And it's just fucking pathetic. So here's a documented example of this shit that just goes on all the time. People are just completely full of shit. People in a stupid so-called meta shit. My builds have always been superior. My level of playing Guild Wars has always been vastly superior. And no one can hold a candle to me. No one can provide a single argument. It just talks shit. Every single time they just talk shit. And this is why people get so butthurt over me, because I break their bubble of delusion. And I use superior builds, and they don't know how to deal with them because they're running shit builds, and they always lose to my builds. And they never adapt. They never learn. They just do stupid shit all day, every day. That's all they ever do, stupid shit. Like a mindless lemming. And that's what it does, why it's so wrong about it. It's not simply a matter of you're just not a good player. You know, people are of all different levels of skill. So long as they're above a minimum acceptable standard, it doesn't matter. But what they're doing is something completely different. They are stupid by choice. And they do some really fucked up shit. And they exploit things like knockdown spam so that they can win by cheating. By just pressing a simple button sequence and botting. Most of them bot. They just run a simple bot sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Over and over. So they don't even play the game. It's fucking pathetic and toxic. So anyway, here's just an example of what goes on all the time over this shit. Showing that I win 100% of the time. I go through the details, I go through videos, screenshots, go through the numbers, go through the arguments and logic, and I win every step of the way, and they just talk shit. They got no leg to stand on.